GST is a tax on goods and services. Earlier, we used to have many taxes like excise duty, sales tax, service tax, octroi, etc. They've been brought all on one platform. And the government argued that therefore this will lead to ease of doing business, it will lead to more revenue, it would lead to lower prices, it will lead to higher output. However, what we see is the exact opposite of that has happened. It is a very, very complicated tax and the country is not able to cope with it. Within the last 20 months, you've seen more than 500 changes, Many court judgments have come, because people are very confused. And today, apart from chartered accountants and income tax lawyers, the average businessman, even the big businessman, is unable to understand its complexity. The government should have been aware that it will create a lot of problems. It has created a lot of problems in a variety of countries. But the argument given was that in France it was implemented in 1954 and now 160 countries implemented. But France does not have an unorganized sector. It's largely an organized sector economy where everything is computerized so it can work. But in most other countries, it's a partial GST. Full GST was implemented only in 6 countries. And in India also, we have not gone for the full GST, we have gone for partial GST. We have exempted various items like petroleum goods, liquor for human consumption, real estate, and electricity. So in other words, we also do not have a full GST in our country. It's a halfway house. Worse is that we have a lot of exemptions. This tax was supposed to be one nation, one tax. This was supposed to be a new freedom. And that's why the government held a session in Parliament, the midnight session in Parliament, to parallel the session in 1947 when India got independence. So it gave it that kind of a pitch. But the problem is there's no one nation, one tax. We have several rates. We have 0%, 5%, 12%, 18%, 28%, 43%, 1%, and 0.5%, And therefore, the one nation, one tax could not be achieved. The second point of the reform would be to shift away from the indirect taxes to the direct taxes. Let us collect a lot more from the direct taxes because today India collects one of the least amount of direct taxes in the world. Our direct tax GDP ratio is about 6%, whereas in most developing countries have a 12% or 13% direct tax GDP ratio. If you could collect from there, then we need not collect from so many items in the indirect tax network. And that is the kind of reform that is needed. So government needs to think about it, agree that it's not the right thing for the Indian economy, and agree that a new solution is required and move towards that. And I think some of the political parties are now including that in their manifesto, that they would like to go for a very simplified GST. But along with that, we have to see how we can collect more direct taxes.